5:30? Brad, am I right? Or am I half a minute early? We may have clicked early. That one says 5:30. iPads. Oh, Apple's arguing with itself. One says 5:30, one says 5:29. I'm calling it to order. So we're going to go with that version of Apple time. So with that, I'll call to order. Welcome everybody to our only meeting in the month of July, only scheduled meeting in the month of July. Appreciate everybody being able to make some time for us this evening. Councilwoman Matthews is traveling. We wish her a safe return and enjoyable travels while she is away. And the rest of us will be conducting a meeting over this next little while. The agenda has been distributed. We'll begin with our invocation, Pledge of Allegiance, as we normally do. So, Archbishop, you would please lead us.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this moment that we can gather. Father, we pray for the council and staff, Lord, as we make decisions on our future. Father, we thank you that you give them sight beyond sight, Lord. And even the ones, Lord, that live in this great city. Father, we ask you, Lord, to grant them patience and grant them understanding. Let them get the whole story, Lord, as we progress and build a greater city. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Deputy Clerk, if you would please conduct a roll call.
Yes, sir. Mayor Gaylor.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Jones.
Present.
Councilman Boyette.
Present.
Councilwoman Taylor.
Present.
Councilwoman Weeks.
Present.
Councilman White.
Present.
All right. I appreciate everyone being here. And again, we wish Councilwoman Matthews safe travels, and we look forward to seeing her again soon. So with that, council, an agenda has been distributed for your consideration. Is there, first of all, Mr. Manager, are there any recommended changes from your office that you and I haven't discussed yet?
No, sir, no. Mr. Mayor.
All right, Councilor, are there any requested changes to the agenda as presented? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
All right, motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion's been made and properly seconded to adopt the agenda as presented. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed, same sign. Seeing none, motion passes. And Madam Deputy Clerk, if you would like me to just simply go with motion votes, we can, or if you throw it up there, then I'll call for that as well.
Good to go for digital.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Then on the next one, we'll go for digital. I forgot to ask as I was walking in. All right, having an agenda, there are no recognitions or presentations at this meeting, so we will move directly to item 5, our public comment period. Madam Clerk is collecting the sign-up sheet. Is anyone intending to speak that has not yet signed up on the public speaking? All right. We'll let her come on in.
Our first speaker is Miss Natalia Newkirk. Our next speaker is Miss Phyllis Jones. James, I'm sorry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor, I express my deepest condolences on the loss of your father.
I appreciate that.
Mayor Pro Tem, council people. My name is Phyllis Merritt James, and I'm standing here as a concerned citizen just to talk about the budget that was passed and then the budget that was passed from DC, which will impact our local budget. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be triple slammed with what occurred because the almost quarter of the population that are below the poverty level, they're being impacted now because they're losing food access. Their children are going to lose food access. Also, cutting Medicaid. And the majority, I'm a nephrology nurse practitioner, and those patients rely on transport to get to and from dialysis 3 times a week. And they're going to be cut. They don't go to dialysis, take away the LYSIS and they die. They die. And that's what you're looking at with these people in the cuts. So, you know, the $20, $25 that went up with their water or with their cost of their gas or for the paying taxes for their vehicles, that can give them a ride to and from the dialysis unit for those 3 days. That's life-sustaining. That is the difference between them affording their medicine, the insulin that'll keep them from going into diabetic coma, going into the hospital, which then increases ER visits, which then impacts us on the back end. We've got to look holistically. All those, we're getting ready to talk about our new 4 to 5 year plan. Please, everyone, read, and give input. This is your time to not be quiet, but to actually sit and talk, and please consider, because this is very trying times, scary times, detrimental times. God has us, but we are the eyes, feet, and the mouthpiece of Him, and we have to do what's in the best interest of all. So please think about it and reconsider anything that we can do to help our constituents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Our next speaker is Mr. William Lemmings.
My name is William Fleming, and I don't have much of a speech as I do a question. And part of my question is concerning what the previous speaker was just speaking of. I was wondering how come the councilman hadn't approved the payment from the United Healthcare, from the healthcare code that the other utility companies have approved for, like making payments with the health card, like the cable people have and the food people do. Food line, they take the health card for food. The utility people take the health card for payments, but Goldsboro City Water don't. And I'm just wondering why.
Make sure that your contact information is with the deputy clerk, and we'll get back to you. And if it's something that we can make a change on, then we'll obviously consider it.
That's all.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Livingston, if you would, on that, if there is something that can be done, or if there's more clarification, just make sure the council's aware.
Absolutely.
We'll address it at a later date.
Thank you.
All right. We will move to Section 6, our consent agenda. Mr. Livingston, if you'd please entertain any remaining questions.
Thank you, Mayor. We have 5 items on the consent agenda, 2 certificate of sufficiencies prepared by the clerks for annexations, 1 for a galvanized water project, and another for approval of 2 more for approval of minutes and monthly reports. We normally entertain 1 motion for the consent agenda unless there's questions that the City Council has or you have on anything on the consent agenda.
Mr. Livingston, on 6.1 and 6.2, do we have estimated dates of when those would actually come for public hearing?
We've got Mark here. I think he can explain what the timeline is on that.
It's not critical. If you don't mind, just come up. I just want everyone to make sure they see the timeline. The certificate of sufficiency, the first step in a long chain of things that have to happen.
That is correct. So once you adopt or order the clerk to investigate sufficiency, then we'll go on to set the date of the hearing following month, and then following month after that, we'll actually conduct the public hearing.
So this is just the first step of it.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure the council knew the timeline.
Okay.
That's all for me. Council, any other comments or questions on the consent agenda for Mr. Livingston? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Madam Deputy Clerk, if you please conduct a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. Mayor Gaylor,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jones,
Yes.
Councilman Boyette,
Yes.
Councilwoman Taylor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Weeks,
Yes.
Councilman White.
Yes.
All All right, consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.5 being approved. We are moving through things. This is really good. The next two items on 7.1 and 7.2, council, just so that everyone can kind of remain at ease, neither are for vote. They are updates on things that we have already voted on and have in the works, but wanted to make sure that council was getting an update since we had the opportunity to get back together. So with that, Mr. Livingston, I'll turn it over to you. If you'd please walk us through 7.1 and 7.2 whenever questions are resolved.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You're exactly right. It's an update. These are in the initial stages. Both of these plans are. Maybe Parks and Recreation Master Plan's a little further along, but they're at that point where we're getting a lot of public input, which is, basis for the plan. So I have Felicia here to give us an update on exactly where we're at on the plan and the next steps. So you'll be informed.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, as City Manager said, I'm here to give you all an update on where we are with our comprehensive Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Before I go into that, I just want to give like a quick, brief background so everybody's on the same page as far as where we are. So, during the FY25 budget, City Council approved us to start work on updating our comprehensive Parks and Recreation Master Plan. The last time we had updated this plan was back in 2012. So in the comprehensive plan, what it does is it assesses all of our park facilities and the amenities in our parks. It's not a plan for one specific park. It looks at everything. The comprehensive plan will also make recommendations for us for the next 5 to 10 years. Kind of look at it as a roadmap of where we should be, proceeding towards. McGill Associates is a consulting firm that is working with us on completing our comprehensive Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And we broke it out into a phase 1 and phase 2. The FY25 budget year covered phase 1. So what has been accomplished thus far? We did an inventory of our parks and facilities. They reviewed demographic population data as well as land use forecasts. They did at least 2 meetings with planning staff, GIS staff. They determined limiting factors for our program development, like what's holding us back. They scheduled public input meetings. They did an online survey. They identified private and nonprofit opportunities that we as a municipality can possibly participate in. And they also compiled and analyzed data from the survey and the meetings. They also provided an update to our Recreation Advisory Commission, our RAC, which is serving as the steering committee. They also started setting up meetings with you all as council members just to say, hey, this is the information we've gathered so far. What are your thoughts? Do you feel the same way? Is it something else we need to be looking at? So that's what they did for phase 1, FY25 budget. We're now in FY26 budget. This is phase 2. So here is the heavy lifting, so to speak, because phase 1 was let's get all this data together, and now they're going to start, looking at it and reviewing the data. So for phase 2, it's going to include making recommendations on improving our parks, maintenance-wise, what are things that we can do with our limited staff. Identifying growth trends as it relates to our future programming. Provide programming and funding strategies. Formulate a 10-year capital improvement plan. Address future funding opportunities for us to be able to meet that plan, and they're going to be evaluating staff status and recommending staffing levels. Going into this, they were fully aware that, just like any other municipality, we're all working on limited budgets, but looking at where we should be with the amount of property we maintain and what we can do with maintaining the amount of property we maintain by, being creative with how we manage stuff. Once they do that, a draft plan will then be submitted to city staff for us to review and comment. Once that's done, then a draft plan will then be presented to council for you all to approve and adopt. And we do expect for the plan to be completed before this calendar year is out. Not trying to be funny, taking into account any type of hurricane or something that may delay anything. The expectation is we will be bringing the plan back to you all for you to review and adopt no later than November of this year.
So, Ms. Brown, the little cards. So I was over at the Foster Center one day, and one of the consultants happened to be there with the little storyboard and getting people to put the dots on it. And I know she had a lot of little cards with the QR code. Is that still open, or is that part of this? That part of this is closed?
Yep, that part has closed.
All right, excellent. And at what point, do the findings of that get released publicly, or is it where can people go to get that sort of information and find out kind of where things are?
That's what they're in the process of compiling now for that report. I know they've met with several council members, not all council members, where they were like letting them know, these are things that we're looking at. I'll go on because they shared this information with our RAC. One of the top vote getters online public input meeting, which I guess I should say I kind of knew it was coming, was people want an indoor aquatic facility.
Yeah.
Across the board, regardless of what district you were in, where you're at, that was like one of the top vote getters.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I was kind of amazed, just as an aside, in the Foster Center, the most stickers were going on pickleball. And I thought that was kind of neat. I would encourage any council members that haven't yet been directly contacted. Like I myself, I've not met with them personally, but I stood there in the Foster Center and talked for probably 20 minutes. So that probably counts. But anyone that hasn't yet been directly engaged, I would ask that please happen. I think that needs to happen. Council members, any comments, questions on Parks and Recreation master plan at this stage?
I do have.
Yes, sir. Please.
I did get a chance to talk to Nate and gave him some feedback, and then listen to some of the findings that he did have. My major concern is to the council. He continues to say that our parks are well maintained with what we have, but because we're the only show in the county, that they're being overused, and with the budget that we have, it's not sufficient enough to maintain the parks or even to improve the parks at a level that it should be. And I really hope that we begin to look at the fee, either the fee raises, or we actually get with the commissioners and ask if they could help us with maintaining the parks, because he actually said there are people outside of the county that's coming to use the actual facilities because of Bryan Complex and other places. So I really think that we really need to take a strong look at the fees so that we can offset the cost to maintain our parks and recreation.
Yeah, and I would say a prime example of that is one of the things that the consultants do is they look at our facilities and they compare us with our neighboring facilities, as well as it's a national standard. And one of the national standards, for instance, is the amount of public swimming pools. So for Goldsboro, population of Goldsboro, we're sitting pretty, because I think the standard is one pool per 25,000 population. We have 2 pools. But the fact that there isn't a county Parks Recreation Department, when all is said and done, we're essentially serving over 100,000 people. So our 2 pools are not sufficient. So that's kind of commenting on what Councilman White was addressing.
Understood. Yes, ma'am, please.
Do they look at lighting? Do they look at the lighting systems when they look at the plan?
Yes.
And the reason why I'm asking is because I had a complaint from someone about Herman Park, the lights. and that they're I'm sure you're aware about how they can't cut some of the lights off. And so I was told that the company that made that system is no longer in business.
Correct.
So what are your thoughts on how do we fix that? Do we get a whole new lighting system? I mean, if we can't, it's just going to continue to disintegrate.
Correct. And that's what will eventually have to happen. We put in a complete new light system because the company that did those sombrero lights, and this was before I started with the city, from what I understand, it was like grant funding that the city, obtained to like put those lights in. Company went out of business. So as the lights have failed over the years, our staff have gone in and tried to make fixes. And so we've done, open inspection's not here, but we've done enough like hard wiring and rewiring over the years that now they're to the point they're either on or they're off.
Right, because that's what I was told, that some of the lights are staying on all day, wasting electricity, which is wasting, money. So what I wanted to ask maybe Mr. Livingston is if we can look at that and see what we can do to make sure we, try to correct this situation.
One of the good things about having a new plan is that we'll be able to qualify for more points and more grants, especially with the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund grant. Maximum grants there are $500,000. It's a dollar for dollar match, but you can also use in-kind labor, so we could handle that using our in-kind labor. So we haven't been aggressive enough in applying for part of grants because we need that Parks and Recreation master plan because it's going to have the site-specific plans. It'll have notions like that should be noted in the plan that's a deficiency we have, so that when we do apply for grant funding, it will be in our plan.
And it is in the plan. Nate shared it with me that it is in the
Herman Park?
For lighting, for safety reasons as well. See, he it's in the plan already. Okay. They noted that.
I would definitely encourage, please ask the consultants to make sure that they reach out to the rest of us to be able to, if we so choose, be able to have those one-on-one conversations. And I think I kind of cheated by standing there in the lobby for 20 minutes, but I definitely think that needs to happen. And Mr. Boyette.
There's no such thing as too much information.
No, we're good. We're good.
I'm just going to make a comment that I do not disagree with Councilmember White about taking a look at the fee structure between city residents and non-residents. I mean, that's even happening on a national level, that there's been adjustments made at the national level to our national parks specifically to benefit our citizens versus visitors that are not our citizens to the parks. And that's my understanding, that additional revenue is specifically going to go to upkeep and trying to revitalize some of the national parks. So I think that's certainly a valid point. If we're going to make a change while we're doing the plan, now would be a time to adjust that rate structure.
And there is, to both of your points, actually, there is a differential now. We actually installed that, was it year before last that we last adjusted them, or was it 2 budget cycles ago?
I think it was 2 budget cycles.
2 budget cycles ago, we did exactly what you're saying. I think it's time to probably make that differential a little bit bigger and and then try to figure this thing out. But the framework is in place, so now it's a matter of adjusting the numbers. I do want to emphasize that one piece 2 budget cycles ago that we kind of wrestled with was, how does someone prove their residency? Because obviously your driver's license, whether you live in Goldsboro or not, you have a Goldsboro mailing address. So how do you verify that? But I feel like there's probably a way y'all can handle that. You can figure out how to hardwire and not make inspections mad. You can figure out how to get proper address lists, Council, any other comments or questions on Parks and Rec Master Plan? Hearing none. Ms. Brown, any further comments, or are you good?
I'm good.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
And summer programs are looking fantastic, by the way. It's been a lot. Mr. Livingston, floor is still yours for 7-2.
7.2 is another major plan update we're doing. It's the Elevate Goldsboro Land Use Plan. which you guys were grateful enough to put together a committee to help review that and provide public input. But we have, I think Mark is going to update us on where we're at with that. We're just getting started essentially, but we have a website though already.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, hopefully you've all aware and have had a chance to visit the Elevate Goldsboro dedicated website to the comprehensive land development plan that is currently being assembled now. So we got top billing on our website, leading the public hopefully to a dedicated website where they can, where it describes the project, and then also it gives an opportunity to receive input from the public through an online survey, and also interactive maps where you can click on it and identify areas of particular concern. And this is all designed really to get public input from the citizenry in a way that is easy and convenient for them. So we're really this is just one part of our campaign to get the word out. We're also we'll be using Facebook and Twitter, and also we've got some of the electronic message board at the hub. We'll also be utilizing that to display messages. On this website, it talks a little bit about, we got the project timeline here, and we're still in phase one, kind of getting towards the end of phase one there that you see. And it essentially we've already, as far as the status of the plan, we've established the branding of it. We've established the advisory committee. That advisory committee has met once already. We'll meet with the advisory committee 4 other times where key components of the plan will be delivered to that advisory committee, and they'll get the first shot at looking at the document. We've also got our first community engagement, which will be coming up on Wednesday, July the 30th in a large conference room, where we'll have some exercises there where we're gathering data points and information from the public regarding concerns, things that they're interested in, things they would like to see. Basically we're trying to capture their vision for their community, and we want to incorporate that into the plan. So, and then there'll be one other or a couple other meetings with the public. We also have planned a pop-up meeting or a pop-up event, probably at one of the main events here on Center Street, or possibly a concert series we have here. We haven't quite got all the details on that. And also we'll be having Planning Commission, City Council joint workshops that will be scheduled later. The first one will be later on this year, and then early next year we'll also have additional workshops. The Kimley Horn is the consultant for this project, and what they will be doing is eventually reaching out to you guys probably with a doodle poll, finding out which dates work best for you. So that should be coming within the next month or two. And then phase 3, once we have a document that's everyone's reviewed and we're getting close to having a completed document, then we will then start wrapping it up by sending it to Planning Commission, giving them at least 30 days to look at it, as well as then forwarding it to Council for your final review and approval. So hopefully we'll have that done by next summer. We'll have this new plan in place. And then the plan will also, not only will it capture the vision for our future, it will also provide recommendations and policy recommendations to adopt policies to actually implement the plan. So really excited about it.
Mr. Helmer, the website, if you don't mind putting that back up, I just want people to be able to see it.
Just click back.
And then also on the City of Goldsboro's main website, it's one of the in the carousel at the top of our website. It's up there as well, right?
I just pulled it up on my phone.
But I was just making sure. It is, if memory serves, it is one of the slides on the carousel on our main webpage as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's the top portion of the website with that slide.
Perfect.
A horse is up there, but it's on the carousel.
There you go. There you go.
It's bad.
That's a web design term, and you're right.
Yes.
That was a bad joke, but I appreciate the effort.
Top billing.
I respect the effort. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I had the opportunity to be in the initial meeting, and I was very pleased to see constituents, different people from the districts, and I think that is going to be very good. They're going to learn a lot, and that they're going to go back and share. So I'm really excited about this committee. I really am.
Councilman, anybody else? This is I just want to make sure the public truly understands, this is a really important piece of our overall planning for the city. And it happens every decade or so, but this is the window right now. And it's looking at where does commercial growth happen? Where does neighborhood business happen? Where does residential happen? Where do you want high density versus low density residential? How does it all fit together? How do we insulate industrial areas for industrial development from the high density residential to maintain some competitiveness to be able to get tenants that don't want to be right next to residential, while also providing the needs and the overall housing mix that we need in the city to provide respectable options at every price point. So please do make sure your input is heard. Make sure that people around you are aware of this and get their input heard as well. Mr. Helmer, anything else?
No, sir. I think you said it very well.
Well, thank you. All right. So with that, we're done on that one.
Good, thank you.
All right, items under new business. Council, as we get to a couple of the ones at the end of Section 8, these are some of these are things that council is seeing for the first time. As always, if there is something that council is not ready to move on this evening, we can table it to a future agenda, have it as part of the consent agenda, or simply bring it up as old business. I only say that as just a general reminder that is how we have certainly tried to do business over the last year and a half. So with that, something that we have heard before is really good news. Item 8.1, Mr. Livingston, if you'd please brief us.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 8.1 is acceptance of a Brownfields assessment grant. It was a $500,000 grant that allows the city to select city-owned sites and also other private sites for assessment purposes. Virtually, it's a phase one, and that helps develop a strategy on how we can take a piece of property that may be a potential environmental issue, then turn it around into a redevelopment site so that it's put back into positive use in the community. So Aaron's the downtown development is managing that grant, and they've been working with Terracon, but they still have to put out an RFP. I think that's out now. And if there's any more questions you have on that one, I think she could answer them.
Council, the brief and the memo, of course, is part of the agenda packet. Are there any other questions, or are we ready to make a motion to accept the grant? I'll entertain a motion to accept the grant as presented in item 8.1.
So moved.
Second.
Hey, yes, sir.
I do have a.
All right, if you may,
Go ahead. Finish
motion was made. Councilman Weeks, seconded by Pro Tem Jones. So we're now open for debate. Councilman White, the floor is yours.
I'm just a quick question. This grant, will it be outside? It won't just be for downtown. It would be
For the entire city.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we're looking at the whole city and any areas that, that have had environmental issues, like the old homeless area.
Right.
Or unhoused area. That's got a
That's-
lot of potential for cleanup there.
All right. That's all I have.
All right, council, we already have a motion. We already have a second. We're in the middle of debate. Is there any other questions or concerns? All right, hearing none, we will call the vote. Madam Deputy Clerk, would you like to throw the vote up and we'll vote electronically?
Yes, sir.
All right. And if it doesn't pop, then I will just go ahead and move us forward. I don't want us to get... lovely. There we go. All right. And again, the motion is to accept the EPA Brownfields assessment grant as presented. So, all in favor, please raise your hand. All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed, same sign. Seeing none, motion passes unanimously. I don't know why I clicked save. I think I'll pop up and just, there we go. Yeah, we're up there 6-0. Look at us, we're getting it. All right, item 8.1 is approved. Mr. Livingston, if you'd please walk us through 8.2.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. This is a community policing micro grant application for several different programs and equipment. We have Chief of Police here to kind of address that, kind of so you'll know what he's doing specifically, and I wanted him here to ask.
And as Chief West is coming up, I'll just echo, this is another really good one. I appreciate the work that our departments, and this time our police department, is doing, trying to find sources of revenue. You know, looking for grants to be able to do special things and be able to get the tools that you need. So thank you for that. So with that, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Good to be here. I'll be brief, but I'll be informative. The Goldsboro Police Department has been notified that federal grant funds are available through the 2025 Community Policing Development Micro Grant Program. It's administered by the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Community Ordering and Policing, or as we also known as COPS. The total amount of the funding available under this opportunity is $175,000. The Goldsboro Police Department intends to request the $175,000 in grant funding. The grant does not require a local match, so no city funds are required as part of this request. The department plans to use these funds to purchase and implement Resource Router, which is a real-time, data-driven patrol management and crime forecasting platform. Also, license plate reader equipment to aid in identification in vehicles connected to criminal activity, enhance investigative capabilities, and to help deter crime. And also community engagement programs, and that will be used to increase the expansion of the neighborhood watch groups, citizen-led safety initiatives, and develop community-oriented policing practices. By integrating Resource Router, license plate readers, and community engagement programs into daily operation, the department will improve officer deployment through precision-based patrol assignments, enhance visibility to deterrence in high crime areas, increase efficiency during unassigned time by proactively guiding officers where presence is most needed. This technology also builds on the technology that we currently have in place, which is the sound thinking, which formerly known as ShotSpotter, and will help shift the department, continue to help us shift from a reactive to a proactive policing model, improving public safety outcomes citywide. So it's recommended that the attached resolution be adopted supporting the police department applying for this grant. Questions?
So on item 8.3, as Chief stated, and I'll just reemphasize, this one is a grant opportunity. Police are asking for the authority to apply for this grant, and it does not require a financial match, correct?
That's correct.
All right, perfect. Council, comments and questions?
I am glad. I'm glad about it.
All in, do we have a motion to approve item 8.2 as presented?
So moved.
All right. Motion's been made and properly seconded to approve item 8.2 as presented. Madam Deputy Clerk, at your leisure. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. Madam Deputy Clerk.
Mayor Gaylor?
Are you going to pop it up?
Yep.
You going to do it that way, or just want me to call the vote? All right. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. Seeing none, motion passes. All right, thank you. All right. Chief West, I believe 8.3 is yours as well.
Thank you, Mayor. 8.3 is another grant. The Goldsboro Police Department has been notified federal grants available through the 2025 School Violence Prevention Program, which is also administered by the Department of Justice through the Office of Community Oriented Policing, or COPS. This program supports communities and law enforcement agencies to improve security at schools and on school grounds in the jurisdictions through evidence-based school safety programs. The amount of funding available is $500,000. The Goldsboro Police Department intends to request $63,290 in grant funding. This grant, however, also has a requirement of a 25% match, which means that the city will be responsible, or the department will be responsible, for $15,822.50. The department plans to use these funds to provide de-escalation, prevention, and multi-option response training.
fundamentals to realistic de-escalation training for the officers. Also, law enforcement against drugs and violence, which is a program that will be administered to K through 12 students through our SRO program. Substance use and violence prevention education curriculum developed by the Menendez Foundation. Also, Navigate 360, or ALICE, which is a civilian active shooter response training for school personnel as well as citizens. And the ALICE acronym stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. These training courses will enhance officers' ability to de-escalate situations not only in the community, but in the schools. Prevention and response training strengthens relationships in our schools and with students and staff while building safer schools and communities through education and training. It's also recommended by staff that the attached resolution be adopted supporting the police department applying for this grant. Any questions?
All right, Council, just to reinforce the financial piece, the total value of the grant, Chief, you don't mind, the total value of the grant that you anticipate requesting was how much?
63 is what we're going to ask for, but it does have a 25% match, which will be $15,000.
And would require $15,000. We did set aside a contingency fund in this year's budget. Mr. Livingston, correct me if I'm wrong, to be able to cover things like this and others as they come along without having to go into fund balance, which I think is strong fiscal management. So I just wanted to reiterate the financial piece of this. So with that, Council, comments and questions. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve item 8.3 as presented?
So moved.
All right, motion's been made and properly seconded. Motion's been made and properly seconded to approve item 8.3 as presented. Madam Deputy Clerk, would you like me to just call the vote, or do you want to do it? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. Seeing none, motion passes. And Council, I apologize, I did not call for debate on that, seeing the temperature of the day, as I skipped right over that. I apologize for that. All right, item 8.4. Chief, and I understand that item 8.4 is not for a vote, it's for discussion, and then items in 8.4 would actually be voted on in item 8.5. Is that correct? In the actual budget allocation? Yes, sir. All right, or sorry, 8.6 in just a minute. So 8.4, Chief West.
Thank you again, Mayor. Just for discussion purposes, our SRO program, I think it's been said on more than one occasion. I think everybody understands. I've always firmly believed in our SRO program through the years. Ever since I've been an officer with the department, we've had SROs in our schools. Unfortunately, during our staffing crisis where we were losing numerous officers, I couldn't sustain a full plethora of SROs in our schools. Historically, we had 5 to 6 SROs, and we were involved in 8 schools, and these are the 8 Wayne County schools that are inside the city limits. When staffing dropped us down to 1 SRO, all I could sustain was putting an SRO in 1 school. Times have changed. We are now staffing up, which is a great thing. So part of our staffing up is to increase the number of SROs. So for the 24-25 school year that we've just completed, we did have 2 full-time SROs at the schools. And I anticipate moving into the 25-26 school year that we can comfortably provide 3 full-time SROs to our schools. Current coverage we just spoke about. Again, these are going to be 3 schools that are inside the city. 2 of those schools will also have what we call an on-call status. There are schools that are in close proximity to a school that we have a full SRO in. Those schools will, if needed an SRO, they can call the SRO that's working a neighboring school to come over and help for whatever their need is. So we kind of considered I've got 3 full-time SROs in 3 schools full-time, with the option of having 2 other schools that we can provide assistance if needed. That's a total of 5 schools, going back towards our total of 8. So we're heading in the right direction. The funding for this, every year, Wayne County Public Schools provide funding to the city of Goldsboro towards SROs. So last year we had 2 SROs, so the funding was somewhere around $74,000 that they provided. This year, with us going for 3 SROs, the funding that they'll provide is going to be in the neighborhood of about $110,000. What my suggestion was, my thoughts are to help us recruit SROs. SROs are it takes a special individual that wants to be an SRO, special officer. And I firmly believe that having our officers in our schools inside the city makes a difference in our community. It helps us get into these schools, build relationships with these students, not only during the school hours, but after hours and on weekends and throughout the summer. So I think it's very important for us to get back into these schools. So my suggestion to help us staff up the SROs, the ultimate goal is, again, to get up around 5 to 8 SROs. We had to have an incentive for salary incentive. SROs currently with the police department do not receive any kind of incentive pay to be an SRO. It's basically, we ask them, do you want to be an SRO? If you do, there you go. To make it easier for us to recruit within and also recruit from the outside, my suggestion to the city manager was to give a 10% salary increase for an SRO, whether that's an in-house officer that wants to be an SRO, their salary will be enhanced by 10%, or if I hire from outside an officer that's got 2 years experience, which is the minimum requirement to be an SRO, you have to have 2 years of law enforcement experience. That would help us recruit from the outside. To put a number with that 10%, if I bring an officer in off the street or an officer that's within the agency that's got 2 years experience and we give them 10% for SRO pay, or if we bring somebody in with 2 years experience and give them SRO pay, their starting salary will be $62,000 right out of the gate. Year one SRO. That is pretty strong. I think area SROs from other jurisdictions are mid to high 40s, low 50s. So I think that'll help us recruit and also to sustain our SROs, because it doesn't do us much good to recruit SROs and then lose SROs. So that was kind of my suggestion to the manager. That funding is covered by the 110 that's provided by the school, so it doesn't cost essentially anything out of the budget to do it. But for us to implement it on my current group of SROs, which is 3, the cost to the city is going to be about $28,000. So that's what it would cost to implement it. Any questions?
Mr. Livingston, do you have anything to add, or are there any other comments, or just go straight to the dais?
No comments from me. I think it's a good program. It's been helping us.
Yeah. Council, comments, questions, concerns? Yes, sir.
So, it's the 28 in addition to the 110 or whatever you're receiving from the schools?
No, sir. The 110 is just what the school reimburses the city for 3 SROs. All it would cost us to do the salary enhancement would be $28,000, which can be taken out of that. So the city wouldn't have to come up with any more money for that.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Yes, sir.
I'll just offer that I agree with what the chief's position is with the pay bump, because there are other agencies that offer that, and we want to be competitive to be able to get the best. And I'm excited to see us continue to put our officers back in those positions in our schools. It's exciting times.
I agree with everything you said, and with Councilman Boyette as well. I just want, just out of curiosity for me, I know there used to be sheriffs in there, so they out of the SRO business now, or is it?
No, they're still doing SROs. They're just SRO in the schools that are in the county. I actually think the sheriff kind of falls under the same as I do when it comes to staffing numbers. He's got limited staffing that can be SRO, so he struggles sometimes with filling those. But I think from the discussions that we've had in the past, we always feel like the schools inside the city benefit from our officers being the SROs, and that's where we always.
I will agree. I was just, my thought process was we only have one school system. I didn't understand how and I do now, by just being inside of the city limit, pure. I got you. No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Chief, so my question is, are you going to be doing advertising for new officers to come in, so you won't take officers away from
we can right now, the way we're set up now with the staffing that we've got, I don't require to hire anybody else or recruit any other SROs to cover the 3 that we're obligated to right now, so I'm good there. But as moving forward, as we staff up, then yes, I would advertise internally as well as externally, but ultimately if I'm pulling from inside, I'm not pulling from other areas of the department, so I'm definitely not going to be shutting down units or specialized assignments just to staff up SRO, but we'll do it, we'll be methodical and very smart about what we do. And I wish I had a time frame that I could say I'd be back up to 5 or 6 SROs, but I don't. But we'll move as swiftly as we can, but we'll do it smart.
I just didn't know if we were going to be, if you were going to be doing advertising just for that position to maybe recruit some new officers in.
Yeah, we'll be advertising for both, actually, SROs and for officers to fill the rest of the vacancies too. Yeah, we'll be doing both.
All right, so for item 8.4, Mr. Livingston, correct me, there's no vote or support of anything that needs to come for 8.4. That can exclusively just go in 8.6, right? Yes. Perfect. So, Chief West, thank you. All right. Well, next, council, I need a motion to allow me to recuse myself from items 8.5 and 8.6. The reason being, the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce, under the bylaws, I have an ex officio seat on their board. I don't have a vote, but I am on the board. And so I need to recuse myself from 8.5. State law requires it. And then, Mr. Livingston, as I understand it, 8.6 also includes a line item that is the chamber per the budget, their actual funding agreement for this year. So that would be the reason that I would like to be recused from item 8.5 and 8.6. So, council, if I can have a motion to allow me to be recused for 8.5 and 8.6 and allow the pro tem to run the meeting during that time.
I make a motion.
All right. Motion made and properly seconded to allow me to recuse myself. Any debate? Hearing none, all in favor. Do I vote on this one? Do I vote to recuse me? I get a say in that, right?
You can, but even let's say
I won't.
I
won't. Y'all can do it. Yeah, it's gonna be unanimous.
Yeah.
So all
You're gonna be taken out either way.
Yeah, exactly. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. And I abstain just because I feel like I probably should on that. So with that, Madam Pro Tem, floor is yours.
Okay, we will talk about 8.5, Chamber of Commerce Agreement, FY 25-26. There's been no changes in that. Could you talk about, it's the agreement that we had last year, but could you?
That's correct. It's a sponsorship or level of sponsorship up to $15,000 will be appropriated in this year's budget for the Chamber of Commerce. Those amounts are broken down in your agenda packet, but it is a total of $15,000 for agency support to the Chamber, already budgeted and adopted. So we just need to re-sign the agreement. They're saying that $1,000 is going to Taste of Wayne, $3,500 as a presenting sponsor for the Forward Conference, the Goldsboro Christmas Parade, $500, State of the Military, $2,500, the Job Fair, $1,000, the STEAM Festival, $500, and the Wise Women's Event for $1,000.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve 8.5, Chamber of Commerce Agreement.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any debate, any discussion? Hearing none, I will entertain a vote by raise of hand to approve. Hand to not approve. Okay, we have it. It has been approved. The Chamber of Commerce Agreement FY 25-26 has been approved. Okay, the next item is 8.6, FY 25-26 Operating Budget Amendment, and it is in your packet on page 110. City Manager, could you share?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We just got through discussing the SRO program and the additional funds that are needed to support that. And in addition, we just also mentioned the chamber. Those are budget amendments are in there. So we're asking that you consider that and consider that for approval.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to accept 8.6 FY 25-26 Operation Budget Amendment that is on page 101.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it has been second. Is there any debate? Hearing no debate, I will entertain a vote from the council. All to approve 8.6, raise your hands. All that do not approve 8.6, seeing none, the 8.6 FY 25-26 Operating Budget Amendment has been approved. And I will entertain a motion to bring the mayor back to this meeting.
I was going to make him panic. Anyway, no.
I was going to get a bottle of water.
I'll make a second.
It's been approved that the mayor has come back to
Well, call the vote.
I'm going to call the vote. bring the mayor back. Raise your hand. Oh, you're trying to give me a scare, huh? Okay. All right, it's been approved.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mayor.
Thank y'all. All right. It's good when you can have an agenda that it's good stuff. It's stuff that needs to be weighed and measured carefully, but it's good stuff. 8.7 and 8.8 I also believe fall in this category. 8.7 and 8.8 are things that council is seeing for the first time. As has been our practice, if we see that this is something that we want to hear the briefing on now and then move it to a future consent agenda or a future agenda for old business, that is perfectly fine. So we'll begin with 8.7. Mr. Livingston, if you'd please deliver the brief on 8.7.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. When we went through the org study, there were some recommendations that came about, and this was one of them. Since we're moving community relations into the manager's office, there's also the persons with disabilities. That was a recommendation because community development was taking that they would move that over to Parks and Recreation. And so that's some of the recommended changes here. The Mayor's Youth Council would be moved up to obviously in the manager's office where it seems to be a better fit there. And these Parks and Recreation would also handle a lot of that work as well. And that's just part of what the org study said and recommended, so we're kind of following along with that recommendation from the org study.
So council, item 8.7, of course, is presented as part of the budget packet. Are there any comments, questions? I know this is an ordinance change. Yes, sir.
With the staff that Felicia already has, and she's already short-staffed or really trying to pinch to get staff, do we really think that she can cover those extra committees?
Mr. Livingston?
Well, we did talk to her about that, and she seemed to be very, it's right in their wheelhouse, and they felt like they could do it. With community relations, they're even shorter staffed, so there's more bandwidth in Parks and Recreation than there was where it currently resides. But the more thing is, it's more about the daily kind of things that Parks and Recreation do with youth, really kind of aligned well with.
I did see the alignment with the youth and the Parks and Rec. I was just making sure that we actually had the adequate bandwidth to cover down.
It's a great question. We asked her the same question. She felt like she could manage it, so.
So council, any other comments or questions on 8.7? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve item 8.7 if that's the will of council, or a motion to table 8.7 if that's the will of council.
I make a motion that we approve it.
All right, a motion to approve 8.7 as presented has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion's been made and properly seconded. Pro Tem Jones. Made and properly seconded to approve 8.7 as presented. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. Seeing none, motion passes. I saw their hands go up quickly, so we're good. All right, perfect. All right, and now item 8.8. Mr. Livingston, if you would please explain this one for us.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Item 8.8 is a recommended ordinance to regulate or urinating or defecating in public, which is something we've been having an uptick of. It's something that, a few months ago we heard in a rezoning case was a particularly problematic issue. It's not really addressed specifically, really in detail at the state level. So we wanted to assist the police department, who had come to us and saying we need help with a more specific policy so that we can act in these capacity to do something about this particular situation that we're experiencing an uptick in. If you want to ask the chief if he'll go into more detail on that, that's, I don't know that that's needed.
I'll add to this. I know that this has been in the agenda packet, so I'm sure folks have already asked their questions, but just for the sake of letting everyone know, sometimes when an idea is presented the first time, you look at it and you go, that's redundant. It's already illegal to urinate in public. Why do we need to do this? And it was explained to me that there are certain circumstances where that it doesn't quite cross the threshold into what the state views as that, but it could still be a citable offense, or a few different ways. And so I found that interesting, just trying to wrap my head around how do we make sure that we have ordinances on the book that align and are by all means compliant with state law, that then allow us to be able to do the things that we need to do within the city as well, and be as effective as possible. So if you're having the question of, I thought that was already illegal, you're right. That is a reasonable question, and this allows GPD a little bit more opportunities to engage someone when they see them doing something that might not otherwise cross into the line of a truly criminal offense. So, all right. So with that, I may have just clouded the conversation even more, but I wanted y'all to know that you're not the only ones that have questions. So with that, item 8.8, is there any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. Item 8.8, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, we approve it. The
All right.
amendment.
Second. Motion to approve, and second to approve item 8.8 as presented. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. I'll just do it by a show of hand. All in favor, please show your hand. All opposed, same sign. Seeing none, motion passes. All right. Well, everybody, we have completed the business items on our agenda. I do want to point out that as we as council members see different grant opportunities as they come across, either through National League of Cities or whatever else, be proactive and forward it to the different department heads. I know that Councilwoman Matthews, to her credit, I believe forwarded one of these over to GPD for consideration, and I know I've sent some over to the fire department, and it's an all hands approach to make sure that we see every opportunity and go forward with every opportunity. So I appreciate the work of council trying to support all of our department heads. So with that, Mr. Manager, your report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of items. Tomorrow, the city department heads will be doing a tabletop exercise. It's hurricane season, so this is about making sure that we're prepared, disaster relief, disaster mitigation, and we have some new department heads, so I want them to make sure they're all aware of what our emergency operations plan states, what their responsibilities are. So we'll be rolling into that tomorrow. I know we've been working on the Pocket Park. We finally did get clearance from Fish and Wildlife. So now there's a public waiting period. I think it's a few weeks, and then we'll start rolling out into getting our contractors lined up to start working on that. So that's been a long delay with dealing with the environmental regulations and that. There's been discussion about security for future meetings. We're working on that. I've got our safety officer, Robin Gerganis, helping us with that. As we work through the 6 months work program, some of the major things that we're working at here, in August, we're going to start our economic development strategic plan to talk about business development and how we work with businesses, with the new chamber president and the Wayne County, Mr. Guzman, Wayne County Small Business Development. We'll also start our citizen survey consultant, where we're shifting away from our strategic plan, where we're having our metrics of our focus hasn't changed, but instead of comparing ourselves to other cities, it's going to be about community engagement to see how we're doing from the citizens' perspective, how we're delivering our services, and that'll be our first sort of a benchmark or baseline from there. September, we're going to have a public facility safety review. We know we still have some HVAC problems, some building problems with our public safety center, so you're going to hear presentations on that. Also, the street improvement program. We did the pavement condition rating index. Now we're looking at ways we can start funding some smaller projects as we work to fund that more down the road. October, we're going to have our water and wastewater issues. We'll talk about where we're at with those, and regionalization more. We'll be back into the swing of things with that. November, we're going to come back to the Parks and Recreation Master Plan and also the land use plan. And so those are some of the things that will be keeping us busy. And then also at that point in time, we'll start planning for the retreat, which will be in February. We'll be able to present those citizen survey results by then. And that's going to, again, be the driver for, I think, not just so much the budget, but also a new strategic plan or a revised strategic plan. So there's a lot of moving parts now besides just the we're not trying to just be reactive. We're trying to be more proactive in what we're doing here in the city of Goldsboro. That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, so with that, we'll move to.
I have a question for him.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. I want to ask you, City Manager, about the work study for the sanitation workers, because I want to dispel a rumor. They did get an increase. Could you talk about that and
Yeah.
when it is going to occur?
It's going to occur
so
at
that everyone can hear.
That's a great question. It's going to occur at the next pay period. So I've been signing off on a lot of personal action forms, and so they are seeing a lot of significant increases in that area, and that makes me feel good because that's needed. And on average, over 10% for the sanitation workers, which is more than what most people are getting but it's well deserved, and so it will be in their next pay period.
And so to say that the increase their increase will be different. Everyone won't have the same amount of increase.
Yeah, it's slightly different. I'm just saying
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But it's all their salaries are going up a pretty substantial amount, percentage wise, and again with everything that's going on, it's important that we've done that, and I thank you for doing that again, because they're the ones that really need it the most, to be quite frank with you.
Thank you.
Any other council comments or questions for Mr. Livingston on his report? All right. Hearing none, we'll move to mayor and council member comments as our first and only meeting of the month. I'll begin to my right with Councilman Boyette from District 2, and then we'll work to my left with Councilmember White from District 6. So Councilmember Boyette, the floor is yours.
All righty. A couple of things. I'd like to officially extend my sincere condolences to you, Mr. Mayor, on the loss of your father. He was very much a part of this community and the fabric and fiber of this community. A dear friend of mine. I've enjoyed 20 years worth of lunches with him, and his mentorship and his advice, and just being the friend to me that he was. And I just wanted to officially say that on the record, how sorry I am for the loss of your dad.
Thank you, Chris.
As always, thank you to all of our hardworking city employees. You're each valued and appreciated. I was happy to see that we were able to get that pay study implemented finally, so that those that need that benefit the most are immediately able to see that. So thank you to all of our city employees, and especially extra thank you to those that are out in this heat to endure what they endure to keep our city running, our public safety, public utilities folks, public work folks. That's not an easy task this time of year. And last, I'd like to offer an official welcome, at least from me, for our new Developmental Services Director, Miss April Johnson-Choice. It's good to see you with us this evening. And that's all of my comments.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Taylor, the floor is yours.
So I, like Chris, would like to send my condolences out to you, Mayor, on the loss of your father. I know that's hard for you. Having lost my father as well, I can understand. And then also welcome to Miss
Choice.
Miss Choice. I hope to see great things happen. Next, I want to say that I appreciate Mr. Fleming coming today during the public comment. I never really realized that other agencies were letting people use their UHC cards to pay bills at certain places. So I would really like to see that happen. I thank him for bringing that to our attention so that we know and we can have ways that we can better serve our residents. Also, I'm glad to see that we are continuing to do things to support GPD and their vision to help us combat crime and get our crime numbers down. I have seen that our crime rates are dropping, but we still continue to have crime here, tragic crime. With that being said, I want to send my condolences out to the family of Derek May, who lost his life this weekend in a tragic shooting, as well as my condolences to the rest of the families that have lost people to tragic gun violence in other ways here in our community.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Oh,
Ms.
yes.
Jones.
Yes, first I would like to thank all the city employees. I would like to thank Ms. Reese. You've done an excellent job tonight, and thank you so much for being here, that smiling face. And welcome, Ms. Joyce. It has been good speaking with you, and I'm looking forward to working with you. Very pleasant. I've enjoyed our talks, and we will have more. I did want to. This is not a city council. It's not something for the city council to. It's not a concern of the city council, but it is something that my constituents have been concerned. And I did talk with Chief West, and I like to say that Chief West we work very well together, and I am so thankful. And I did talk with him about, a lot of my constituents have been concerned about the moratorium that the governor has released. And if you don't mind, can he just say something about that?
It's up to you. If you'd like to yield part of your comments to him, that's okay.
Okay. Yes, part of my comments to him, just to, so that, a lot of the citizens have been concerned because they have not been able to get their C license. And if they don't get it renewed, then they're afraid of being stopped. And that's part of safety too. They're afraid of being stopped and don't have their license. So I just wanted to bring that out tonight. So this is part of my comments.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I just needed to pull up the text I sent you with the information, so I don't.
Okay. I mean, I could have read that, but I think it would be better.
Yeah, 2-year moratorium for license renewal for
Yes.
North Carolina license. Correct. That doesn't mean that you may not get stopped for it. You can get stopped. However, you're exempt from getting the license renewed for up to 2 years. I think it's for Class C licenses only. That does not cover you if your license has been revoked or suspended, and it does not cover you if you're driving out of state. So if you drive out of North Carolina on an expired license, you're not covered in that state. The officers are aware of that. We push out that information to our officers anytime there's a change in the law.
So I was kind of confused. I was trying to read about that, but let me just ask you a question for clarification. It was saying something about if your license expires before or after July 1st. So in other words, if my license was to have expired in June, would I not be under that moratorium?
You would not be.
It's only after July 1st.
Correct.
So if my license expires today, then I would be good for 2 years. But if my license expired June the 14th, I would be in trouble. Okay.
Good.
Yeah,
I wanted our constituents to know that because in several of our meetings they had really been concerned and they don't want to be caught without their license. And as you know, there've been a long line at our Goldsboro DMV, and so you got your answers, guys. Okay.
Thank you, Chief. And thank you. Councilman Weeks.
Mayor, I too wanted to honor the great legacy of your father. I think one takeaway from me from the memorial service is I left very empowered. There were 3 things specific that I picked up at that memorial service, and I want to have better faith, I want to offer hope to people in our community, and I want to love better and serve better. And those were 3 integral traits that your father definitely exhibited with excellence in our community. And so that empowered me that day to go forth and to say, hey, I want to have better faith, offer better hope, and also to love and serve better.
Councilman, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, we've been communicating off and on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, my condolences and how I feel about the loss. So with that being said, there's some good news for our military community. Senate Bill 118 was just signed into law, so it helps our state become more military friendly as we strive to be the most military friendly state. It will help our dependents and spouses coming in to help find housing, and for our kids coming in to be able to register in those schools without district lines. Also, House Bill 412 is it has passed, and that's allowing the installation out here, Seymour Johnson, to actually go off the installation and certify child care facilities and not have to have dual license. So that's a win for our military community. I asked Mr. Matt, is there a list of, or are we developing a list of streets that we're going to work on and demolishing the houses and getting rid of blight? And if so, I would like to just take a gander at that. I would like to give a shout out to the department that went out and fixed the grave of the constituent's grave. They did it rickety tick, so my hat's off to them. I salute them. And I'd like to welcome Ms. Choice. I look forward to working with you. And I know that Goldsboro has a bright future ahead. Thank you.
All right. Well, far be it from me to keep us long-winded here. So my comments, I'm gonna say what I need to say, and then I'm gonna stop. To all the employees that have been out in the heat, sanitation, our distribution and collections crews. I've seen you guys out there. Make sure you're staying hydrated. You guys are doing an amazing job. Thank you so much for what you're doing. GPD, fire. It seems like you guys having to wear black plus vests in the beating sun. It's too hot for your car, but yet you guys are out there doing your job. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. Ms. Reese, wonderful job tonight. Thank you as always. It's been a pleasure getting to work with you so far, and I look forward to continuing for the foreseeable future. And Ms. Johnson Choice, welcome. Appreciate you joining me on the radio last Friday. Had some fun. And it's always a good time to get to go and just kind of talk about things that we're doing in the community. So I appreciate you getting up early with me. That was fun. Summer camps for the kids, guys. So Parks and Recreation, your summer programs have been fantastic. Our Wayne County Public Library system. I realize they're not part of the city per se, but they're absolutely a part of the fabric of our community. They've been amazing. The Boys and Girls Club, the Family Y, you guys have gotten amazing programs this summer. Our churches that have run individual Bible school camps, it's amazing. As a parent, you're doing what you can do to kind of patch together, because I work full-time and my wife works full-time, and so we're kind of patching together. Where is the stage structure? The jiu-jitsu club. This week they're here in the mornings and they're there in the afternoon, and the other week they're somewhere else. You're patching it together over the course of the summer. It's a challenge, but it seems like the community just pulled together an incredible number of options for kids and families this summer, and I just want to say thank you, because that's what you got to do. We got to have the stick. We also got to have the carrot, and this community is all about coming together and trying to put the carrot together. As Councilman White said, we had some really nice wins in this state cycle. With childcare is a never-ending battle. I'm certainly not going to steal his thunder. That has been a passion point for him, and he's going to continue being the leader and forefront in that. I just want to say thank you to the state legislators that were willing to go on with that and push things across in an otherwise very odd and contentious state legislative cycle. And then just a quick moment of personal privilege, and this will be very brief. A huge thank you to this community. I don't think I ever could have imagined so many people showing up to my father's funeral. Very unexpected, very sudden. A lot of folks found out the day before the funeral. I felt like I was too. Anyway, enough on that. A huge thank you to this community that just absolutely wrapped their arms around my mother and I, because we're what's left. So, with that, Mr. Lawrence, we have no closed session, right?
I guess not.
Well, thank you. You're the gift that keeps on giving, Ron. So with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, keep your hand down. All right, we are adjourned.